The question I have ultimately, though, is what's their argument? Now, where it gets real interesting. A Democratic super PAC makes a $50 million bet in Republican strongholds. American Bridge is hoping that Republicans are vulnerable in parts of the country that had been exceedingly tough terrain for Democrats in recent elections. This year in Wisconsin, it's a tilt district, meaning it tilts Republican, but, it's close to a toss-up, right? Well, my friends, if Democrats go and dump a bunch of money in here, maybe they can make a difference. They're hoping that they can swing this from a tilt to a toss-up or to Democrat. The question I have ultimately, though, is what's their argument? Seriously. It's not going to be to go to conservatives and say, maybe you should consider voting Democrat. It ain't going to be it. No, it's going to be ballot harvesting. $50 million goes a long way. Greases a lot of palms, if you know what I'm saying. Lines a lot of pockets with gold. I'd be willing to bet the real play is not about advertising. That's what they're talking about. They're saying $50 million in advertising. I think it's more about procedure. If you can procedurally get the votes, you don't need to prove anything to anybody. That's California's way. We don't care who the people actually want to be in charge. We're just going to make it look like we should be so we get the power. They report a major Democratic super PAC hopes to stretch the midterm battleground map by kicking off a roughly $50 million advertising campaign targeting Republicans in more than a dozen House districts and 4 Senate races, most of them traditionally Republican areas. The amount is the most ever spent in a midterm election by American Bridge, which has spent the past year studying the concerns of working class voters and their media consumption habits and sees a rare opening for Democrats as President Trump's approval rating plunges.